Today we're doing a whistle-stop tour of Google's recent announcements, including a big look at why their Workspace CLI is such a big deal to so many builders. Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief. In all of the conversation around Anthropic and their fight with the Pentagon, as well as their insurgent growth in revenue and what it means for their competition with OpenAI, as well as just the broader AI coding conversation between Codex and Claude Code, Google and Gemini, which had such powerful tailwinds coming into the beginning of this year, has had relatively less narrative space than I think many of us might have imagined would be the case. And yet, the company has been absolutely furiously shipping. This year, for example, we have, of course, gotten new models. We got Gemini 3.1 Pro, as well as Gemini 3.1 Deep Think and Gemini 3.1 Flash. We also got Nano Banana 2. Nano Banana 2, you might remember, came with both better infographic reasoning and text rendering capabilities, but also just a big upgrade in speed. And then there was maybe my favorite thing just from a sheer the future is so cool perspective, which was a testable version of Genie 3. Genie is Google's world model, and while we had seen some very impressive demos of it before, we hadn't actually had a chance to try it out. But now in just about a minute of waiting, I can be walking through a pirate colony during the golden age of piracy. It's only for 60 seconds, but it's still a really fun and cool way to get a sense of what might be coming. You might remember that when this was released, the very beginning signs of the SaaSpocalypse on Wall Street as investors started to tank gaming company stocks. Across all of these different announcements, I think Google's strategy for AI competition starts to become visible. One aspect of it is absolutely multimodality. Google is competing on not only text, but images, videos, and even world models. Additionally, they're pushing for some very advanced and scientific use cases, which are more outside the consumer or even business work context mainstream. Another pillar of the strategy, I think, is also deep integration with the context they already have about you, and that's where a bunch of the recent announcements that we're going to cover today come in. Despite how powerful some of these new models are, and how cool the Genie 3 demo is, the release that I have seen get by far the most chatter is the Google Workspace CLI. And this, of course, speaks to just how important the coding use case is right now in driving the AI industry forward. For those of you unfamiliar, CLI stands for Command Line Interface. It's basically a text-based way to talk to a program through your terminal. CLIs have been around forever and are the backbone of how developers interact with tools. If you want to use Stripe or AWS or almost any other developer tool, there's a CLI for it. You type something like Stripe Create Payment in Terminal and it just works. CLIs recently have become even more important as the better portion of agentic coding has been happening inside the terminal through harnesses like Claude Code and Codex. You're not clicking around in some GUI, you're sitting in the command line talking to an AI that can execute commands. So if you are an agent builder and you want to integrate a new vendor, the path of least resistance is that the vendor has a CLI, and your coding agent already being in the terminal can just run the commands. No new protocol to learn, no new integration layer to build. Now, Google, of course, has a lot of tools and spaces that agents might want access to. Drive, Gmail, Calendar, Sheets, Dot, etc. And up until recently, a lot of folks were defaulting to use something called GOG CLI that was built by Peter Steinberger, the same guy who built OpenClaw. It was a very big deal then when last week Google dropped the official Google Workspace CLI. Mickey on Twitter points out the enthusiasm. Your OpenClaw, Claude Cowork, and Perplexity computer agents just got a bit more useful. Kanika explained the value in simple terms. Agents can instantly read and summarize emails, draft and send replies, schedule meetings automatically, search Drive for files, create sheets from raw data, generate docs and reports, organize Drive files, all from one agent workflow. Matt Silverlock noted the surprise of the old is new again feel of this. He writes, 2026 is the year of the checks notes CLI? And Leon on X reframes it this way. They write, Google isn't shipping a CLI for developers, they're shipping an API for agents that happens to also work for humans. Google's Justin Ponelt, who built the CLI, wrote a long blog post about it called You Need to Rewrite Your CLI for AI Agents. He writes, I built a CLI for Google Workspace, agents first, not build a CLI then noticed agents were using it. From day one, the design assumptions were shaped by the fact that AI agents would be the primary consumers of every command, every flag, and every byte of output. CLIs are increasingly the lowest friction interface for AI agents to reach external systems. Agents don't need GUIs. They need deterministic, machine-readable output, self-described schemas they can introspect at runtime, and safety rails against their own hallucinations. He then goes on to write a whole bunch about the technicals behind this. Interestingly, a couple days later, he also wrote a piece about why for some there had been a shift away from MCPs and back towards CLIs. And before we actually read what he had to say, There's some evidence that this is a broader phenomenon. Latent Space's Swix recently ran a poll. Let's say you are an agent builder and want to integrate a promising new vendor you found. What would you be happiest to see in the docs? Not based on Twitter hype, you personally for your situation right now. The options were API, MCP, CLI, or skills.md. Out of 769 people voting, MCP was actually in last place with just 9.1%. A traditional API was number one with 39%, followed by CLI with 31.2%, and a skills.md markdown file at 20.5%. Swix points out there was a time in 2025 when MCP would have been the clear number one on this list. In his blog post, The MCP Abstraction Tax, Justin sums up the issue this way. Every layer, data to API to MCP, introduces an abstraction tax. Humans need simplified abstractions to manage cognitive load. LLMs can navigate a complex CLI via help and call precise APIs in seconds. MCP and CLIs optimize for different things. Understanding what each one costs you is more useful than picking a winner. For complex enterprise APIs, the fidelity loss at each layer compounds in ways that matter. Basically, he says every protocol layer between an agent and an API is a tax on fidelity. That tax is sometimes worth paying, but you should understand what you're giving up at each layer because the cost compounds. Kanika again sums it up this way. Most AI integrations use MCP servers, but MCP loads tons of tools into the context window. One developer measured 142 tools loaded, 37,000 tokens consumed, and 20% of context gone before work even starts. The CLI solves this differently. Instead of loading tools into context, the agent simply runs commands like GWS drive files list. The CLI returns JSON and the agent continues. No context window tax. The takeaway is not that CLI is always better than MCP, but more that we're still in the midst of the AI tooling transition. Everyone right now continues to experiment as things evolve with how to use old tools and systems, repurpose for agents, versus building new layers of infrastructure. That is a process that's ongoing, but the big deal about Google officially having a Workspace CLI is that they are now playing at the very heart of that space and making it much easier for agent builders to interact with what is a very important suite of tools. Going back to Google and Gemini's strategy that I was talking about at the beginning, this is an example of them leveraging their existing distribution network in ways that are distinct for the agent era. The next update is one that came just this week. Google AI Studios' Logan Kilpatrick writes, introducing the new Gemini-powered Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Drive experience featuring AI overviews, fully editable AI-made slides, and new grounding sources to make writing docs context-aware. Sundar Pichai announced it this way. New Gemini updates to make Google Workspace more personal, helpful, and collaborative. Choose your sources and create a doc draft in seconds, build complex sheets 9 times faster, or generate on-brand slide layouts with a simple prompt. Plus, Drive now generates summarized answers right at the top of your search results, so no more digging through folders. The blog post about this pitches it as a speed thing, but I actually think that there's something else going on here. The post reads, we've all been there, the blinking cursor, the empty spreadsheet, or the first blank slide. Whether you're planning a trip, organizing an event, or launching a side project, getting started is often the hardest part. Today, we're making Gemini in Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Drive more personal, capable, and collaborative to help you get things done faster. When you select your sources, Gemini can now pull relevant information from your files, emails, and the web to securely connect dots and uncover useful insights while keeping your information safeguarded. When you look at the specific examples, though, a lot of the focus is on better access to the context that makes Google so powerful. So when you click on Create a Document with Gemini, you're going to be able to select the sources in your Google ecosystem that it can pull from, and it's that sort of integration that makes the experience so much smoother, and hopefully makes the content on the other side that much better. The spreadsheet example they have asks for help tracking income for a particular month, and again can pull from relevant sources like previous spreadsheets that live in Google Drive. Point being that while they're pitching it as a speed play, the underlying idea here is better integrating the context that makes doing things from within your Google Workspace so much more valuable. The sum totality of the documents that you have in your Google Workspace is something that Anthropic and OpenAI can't compete with. It is a major advantage for Google and for Gemini, but only if they make that context accessible, and that I think is what this update is about. I also don't think it's an accident that this comes right after Microsoft announced some big updates to their M365 suite with Copilot Cowork. Mustafa Akinci says, the Office Suite wars just became the AI agent wars. Both companies know whoever wins productivity wins everything. Another announcement from this week that further demonstrates Google's focus on multimodality at the core of their strategy is their updated Embedding 2 model. Embeddings are basically the system that allows AI to find the right information. In traditional computing, search is done by keywords. If you search for buy a car, it's going to look for those exact words. Embeddings, on the other hand, let the system understand that buy a car, purchase a vehicle, get a new ride are all basically the same request. Instead of matching words, they help AI match meaning. That means that when you're building an AI system that has things like search or copilots looking through company documents or chatbots answering questions from knowledge bases, the system uses embeddings to quickly figure out which documents, files, or pieces of information are actually relevant. What makes embedding 2 a big update is that it is natively multimodal. So previously, if you had an image, a chart, or a slide, the system would have to convert it into text first, usually by generating a caption and then search using that. Multimodal embeddings remove that conversion step. Gemini Embedding 2 can understand and retrieve images, diagrams, screenshots, text all together. So if you asked a question in a company knowledge base like where did we talk about redesigning the checkout page, theoretically Embedding 2 could pull up a Slack conversation, a product spec document, a screenshot of the old UI, or a slide from a meeting, all as relevant sources. This is the type of announcement that's not going to get nearly as much attention as, for example, a big Genie 3 demo, but which brings very significant functionality upgrades to this new agentic era. The TLDR on all of this is even as tons and tons of ink are spilled talking about the OpenAI versus Anthropic fight and all these important things going on, Google Gemini is quietly just releasing feature after feature and product after product, all pointed in similar directions that play to the company's main strengths. And to leave you with one recommendation, just purely for your own enjoyment, if you haven't yet, go check out the recently released video generation feature in Notebook LM. People are having tons of fun with it, as witnessed by this recent video from Ethan Malik. Do a deep research report and make a video telling me exactly how to take over Rome if I time travel to 66 BC with a single backpack. As Ethan puts it, actually pretty fun to watch and gets a lot of historical details in as well. For now, guys, that is going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief. Appreciate you listening or watching as always, and until next time, peace.